Welcome to the Infinite Star Connection podcast. We are back. As you can see, Jeff, my co host and friend, is also back. I'm also the other co host, Viviane Chauvet. We are both emissaries and, of course, ambassador of galactic enlightened nations. And this podcast has been an incredible journey, but today we're finally back since the last episode with the memos. And I want to thank everyone for holding space, asking about Jeff, about you, my friend. A lot of people have been asking about you. But today is going to be a very beautiful, deep, special episode in the sense that not only we are back again, but it's mostly to welcome Jeff back on your feet, back in online with us. And then later on, we're going to do also a global powerful meditation in unity consciousness and universal peace to help and support also the events going on in Middle East, but also everywhere around the world, and to bring us into that harmonic energies with each other. So stay tuned. But for today, Jeff, I am super overjoyed and I'm so excited that we're back and you are here.
Yeah,
Yay!
I'm back for another round. So,
Oh, you are here for another big, like in baseball, like another home run. That's for sure. Or touchdown if you prefer football. But definitely you're here. And today it's really about celebrating your return. And if you want to share with us, I know you have received very specific messages and you had quite interesting experiences when you were in the hospital. And I'm just going to say one thing. I'm going to let you completely take it over because this is your time, Jeff. I remember one thing right before you had to go back to the hospital and this, health issue came back. The one thing I received, and I mentioned that to you, I said, this time around is different. It's you're going to a major reset. It's a reset. And you said, well, we'll see about that. And I remember that saying that, but that's what I'm going to say. So would you share with us what has been your experience, what you've been exploring, what you
well,
um,
I can only tell you my experience, and I mean, I've heard NDEs all the time. I've heard probably 50 to 100 people describing whatever works for them. So, but in my case, what happened is and it probably all started back in around Thanksgiving, and I just started to get this edema, and and it got really bad towards Christmas and extremely bad at the beginning of the year. And I finally had enough of it and said, you know what, I can't. This is it. I am done. So I went to the hospital, and I had like my blood pressure was like 255 over 118. It was really bad. So they took me in and took a couple of days to stabilize it. And during that time, I was always intrigued with dying anyway. I just is something that really I wanted to know more about because I was thinking it can't be that bad on the other side. The earth is hard enough to live. Everybody goes through it, so it's got to be better. That's the impression that I've got. It's the understanding that I always had is that when you die, you go on to a better place, blah blah blah, and the people that come and get you and help you cross over whatever, and that's actually not the case. Um, I, I don't know if it was at a crossroads. I don't know, but it could have been the medication I'm on. I have no idea, but I was like in this hallway looking around. There's nobody there. I'm thinking, where in the hell am I? And next thing you know, Tilcom shows up, and he was kind of disgusted with me, and I'm like, you know, why are you disgusted? And he says, I was told to come here to tell you certain things, and what are you doing? he was scolding me, which I thought was kind of humorous. Like, why are you scolding me? But he says you're asking questions you shouldn't be asking. You need to go back because it's not your time. There's nothing here for you to do. There's nothing for you to do here. And so he says you can't come here. And he wouldn't let me go any further than I was. And so we had some conversations back and forth about, well, what am I supposed to do? And he says, you're not ready yet. I don't know what you're supposed to do there, but you're not ready to come here yet. There's nothing for you to do here. And I remember seeing, I don't know if there was his hand or there was a flash. I don't know if he put his hand on me. I don't know, but I remember that there was a movement towards me, then a big flash, and I ended up back in a hospital bed thinking, well, that was flippin' strange. And I said, if you want me back here, then you're going to have to help me. You have to help me get healthier because I just can't. I just don't know what else to do. So I don't know. The next couple of days, the edema was gone, literally gone, and they let me out, and they couldn't believe it. They didn't know what. All of a sudden, I had to use the bathroom. I was using the bathroom like every 20 minutes, and all the fluids that were retained in me were coming out, like massively coming out. I mean, I was pooping and peeing like you could have ran a hose from me to the urinal. That's just how much it was just starting to flow out. And within a couple of days, I was able to get up and walk around. I mean, I couldn't walk before. Everything was just I was retaining every water, every drink of coffee, every sip of anything I ate would stay with me, and that had to get out. And that was causing my heart not to pump a lot, and because there was just too much fluid in my body. So they gave me a bunch of pills and started to eliminate the ones that weren't doing anything. And now I'm just like I'm 100% better. I'm able to walk, run, jog, and lost a shit ton of weight. And what used to take like a half hour to put on socks and shoes, now it's just like boom, put them on, go. So, but it was an interesting experience that they said there is nothing for you to do here. And I get the impression that even when you do go on to the other side, you got work to do. I mean, there's another form of work or something that it isn't just, rosy red over there. There's things you got to do. So that was my experience. But Tilcom, he was like, the first time I've ever seen him scold me like that. I thought it was kind of funny.
That's incredible. So were you out of your body in communicating with Tolkien when that happened?
I think so. Oh, yeah. Yeah, had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I said, look, you're going to have to help me because I don't know what happened, but I must have ate this bag of super salty ass pretzels, and that was the trigger for me to retain all this. The body just started to crave all this water because of the damn salt that I was eating. So I think that was the start of it all. But
I think that was just a domino, like a little push of a very large domino effect that was just set in motion at that point.
yeah. So that's my experience. It's different. And I mean, the Ponti are still here. I still see them floating around, and I got cameras back up in the house again. And goddamn, if you can't still see them.
Have you seen since you come back home? Before we go there, I had a question for you because before we went live, you mentioned that when you were having this rather very clear conversation with Tokim, he kind of put his hand like this and something happened. Can
Yeah,
you
I have.
share that?
I seen movement, and I don't know if was his hand went like this, or just a bolt of energy or something, or he done something to get me back here, to get me out of that hallway.
Okay.
And there are galactic laws that we have no idea what they are yet. Probably a couple centuries away from understanding those laws. And I think he was sent there to stop me from going any further down that hallway.
And what hallway were you referring to
It
based
was
on
a
your
dark
experience?
hallway. It was just like a dark hallway.
Okay.
It wasn't no light at the end of the tunnel type thing. It was just I was walking down like when you go to school and there's a hallway with lockers on the side. It was something like that. And then next, he just appeared and like, where the fuck you going? I said, that way, I guess. I don't know. He goes, no, no, there's nothing for you to do here. You have to get back.
And Harley, your dog, agreed with us. See, we just heard in the words of Harley, this is your Jeff, this is your adorable dog. Harley says, "Come back, Papa. I need you too." So he wanted you to be here. I love it when Harley, his dog, start to communicate and be part of the podcast. I think it's
Oh,
wonderful.
it's the wind coming through the windows that is sounding like it's, you're on some sort of planet or something. I don't know, but he hears the different sounds and everything.
It's, I mean, he's absolutely adorable. I don't want to go back to that corridor that you saw because you were out of the body at that point. So there was a
Hmm?
out of body experience. Um, can I share an impression I received when you said
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Okay. Because it's a beautiful dialogue, and I hope it's really inspiring everybody listening right now and will be listening. When you came out of the body and you went to this corridor, I think I feel right away that was your soul potentially in the middle of a potential transition. And one of your, galactic star family member, part of one of the guardians came and they said, no, you are not allowed to go any further. There's not what, because the feeling I got in my heart when you said, Jeff, that Talcum told you in a very loving but yet authoritative way, there's nothing there for you. You have to go back. I get a feeling that's because you have so much to feel, to experiment, to live in your lifetime, and your lifetime is far from being over. And you were kind of going, hey, like a Gandalf and the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring movie, you shall not pass. This is not the time yet. So go back to your body. And this is the energy I received when you were talking about this. If that makes sense to you.
yeah. I mean, all I can tell you is what I experienced. I mean, it was interesting, but I don't. It goes against what other people have experienced and certain things.
Not really, because that was appropriate for you, for your journey. And the thing is about it, about near that experience and going onto the corridor of light and meeting with angelic beings or loved ones, it's going to be very unique and subjective to that person, or whether it's the belief system or the energy or cultural background. It's very subjective. Who says that they have the ultimate truth on all of it? It's all about perspective. And I
Mhm.
love to see that. Yes, thank you, Sandy. She goes, yes, indeed. To be able to see that for you, you've gone through such a very long journey. And I knew that I was a tail bit, the tail end of that reset for you. And that was your way. Probably, potentially, this is just my interpretation. Again, this is my perception, my intuitive feeling of your experience is that your soul was potentially exploring, perhaps not returning and leaving the physical reality altogether. And you were like, one of your galactic family members came and said, no, 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 no. You're going the opposite. Go back to the earth. Go back that way. That's where you need to be. And makes sense, right? And I can feel that it's it's all about how we are living our life. If you're full of light and you meditate and you are in sync with the universe, but you carry fear, of course, it's going to influence our relationship. But for you, Jeff, again, remind me again, because you did mention at that point when you were told by one of your Ponti family members of your galactic group, return. I think that you saw an hand pushing you or something like that. Can you
Well,
tell us?
I saw movement towards me and then a big flash. So I don't know if he put his hand on me, if there was just a ball of energy or something, pushed me back. So it could be my perception of a hand pushing me back. But
Yeah. Yeah, I
but I
can
knew
see
that I
like
was pulling him away from doing something because he was like disgusted, like, I got to come back here again for you. I'm like, yeah, how's it going? You know,
exactly. But when you saw that hand, is that what you feel like yourself returning into your body?
well, I'm not going back to the body, but going back here,
Okay.
because, I wasn't out of my body, not, looking down on it, nothing like that. I just seen myself in this corridor with like lockers on the side. And it was kind of dark, but it was pitch black. It was just dark. But then he just showed up on his side, like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" You know. And I knew right away it was the image of Tilcum that I saw. So my image of that entity is what I saw, that I attached to it. So
Okay. Yes.
it wasn't
Yes.
him physically; it was just his
No, no, no.
energy and the image, like your father.
Yeah.
When I see him, he looks like Poseidon. You know, because that's the image that he portrayed. So
Exactly. That's the authority, that's the energy in that methodology, in that mythical presence for you, you go like, okay, I recognize this authority. And that's why to
yeah,
you, my Arcturian father may look like that to you. And I can appreciate also how you experience this conversation. And I just saw a beautiful royal blue orb of light right now. So we're all right in that energy. And how you were very much clearly guided in understanding that your life must go on. There's more to it.
yeah.
And
It's going to be a while. It's not going to be like next month, but it's going to be quite a number of years before I'm ready, I guess.
yeah,
At least they kind of like showed me that a little bit, like, you got 8, 10 more years at least. So don't ask any more questions about this. I'm like, oh, sorry.
you know what I'm feeling is that they really want you to redirect all of your intention, your energy, your presence in your life. Enjoy every moment you have because there's
Yeah,
still time ahead of you. And I love that message. What a powerful energy is a reminder. Enjoy the time that is given to you now and take advantage of that moment, really much. Because once the time is
it is the
done,
little things that you gotta enjoy. Like, keeping score of a baseball game at the game. People don't do that no more. Little things like that you got to live into that moment. Enjoy the moment. As small as it is, it could be as easy as going to the lake and just watching the boats coming in. Whatever little moment, you just gotta enjoy it instead of just
yeah,
look at it.
absolutely. And I love that. Would you say Jeff is part of the wisdom you have either be reminded of or learned from all this journey you've gone through?
Yeah, this is my third time wanting to know about it, and they said they were pretty much tired of trying to convince me not to ask anymore. So I'm not going to ask anymore. So,
So this is exciting. So what would you say? What's next for you? What do you feel that is now you're back in your life? You can put your socks on, you walk, you can walk with your beautiful Harley and do anything that you really want that your heart tells you to. What would you say is next for you?
I want to get back to my finances. I'm rebuilding them right now and doing pretty good so far. Just do what you know, and how to do it. And that's what I'm doing, is just trying to get back to where I was before.
Okay. Yes. Reintegrating. I can see that you're reintegrating your life flow and continue from there.
Yeah, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't interesting. I don't wish it on anybody, because it was painful, but
Mm.
kind of did it to myself.
Would you say that going through this painful experience and yet enlightened at the same time, do you think it's going to help you to shift the perspective on about yourself, self-love, self-worth, how you're looking at yourself, your life, opportunities? Do you think it's have changed some aspect of yourself that way? In that way, I mean.
Yeah, just look at the little things instead of getting up and getting dressed and going out the door and taking off. You got to stop, get up, take a breath, go move a little bit slower. Don't close the door too quick. Just close it, and just take your time and enjoy the step you're making.
Yes,
A lot of stuff
yes,
we take for granted because we're healthy, so you do shit, and you just abuse your body, and you just, the older you get, you kind of figure it out, and when you figure it out, you go. So you don't want to figure it out too late.
you be in connection, connection with your body, connections with yourself. All of this. Those are really wonderful words of wisdom and experience you've gone through. So this is why everyone watching, tuning in right now, this is such a very unique episode. The grand return of you, Jeff, and I think you bring forward with you a different state of realization. About like you said, thing we take for granted, thing maybe we overlook and find mundane, but when you start to really pay attention and realize that even shows the ability to dress yourself or walk or slowly closing a door or moving in a new direction, that they can be a gift in that moment, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the old bull and the young bull. Remember that adage on a hill?
I'm not sure. What is that?
Well, you got two bulls on a hill, a young bull and an old one.
Okay.
Okay. And the young bull says, "Hey, let's go down this hill and get us one." As they're overlooking all the female bulls, right? The cows, whatever you want to call them. And he's ready to go down there and get him one. And then the old bull says, "No, let's just walk down there and get them all." That's my words of wisdom. Don't rush into anything. Just take your time and do it. You'll get it all.
Take the time to do it. Yes, yes. That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that with us today, Jeff. I was unfamiliar with that fable.
Yeah, well, you know, you're from Canada, so I don't think you would get it.
Ah, okay. Well, no, when next door to the US, you realize that. Plus, I've been in the US for over 20 years,
Yeah.
actually. So I'm kind of more well versed in both sides of the fence, so to speak. Oh, Jeff, I miss your humor. I miss your expression, your presence. And, this is incredible. We're coming back. And today, especially March 8th, and the celebration of the divine feminine energy and to welcome your divine masculine energy returning. It's so perfect. Even Simon from Glastonbury says
He
that
gets it.
is very funny.
Yeah, Simon gets it.
What's that?
I said Simon gets it.
Yeah, Simon he does. He says so funny and yet so true. And even Sandy says hilarious analogy. And just for the record, in between us, it has nothing to do with me growing up in Canada. It's because I'm an ET in human form. So I don't always understand your earthly fables and your very unique sense of humor. So there we go. I say it. Much love, much love. Oh my goodness. This is so well. Thank you. There's others who did not get it as well. So I'm happy I'm not the only one. Oh,
Men get it, okay? Women don't quite get it, but men totally get it.
okay. Oh, this is wonderful to be able to sparkle some giggle. Do you realize how far you've come? We are giggling and exchanging with beautiful people from all over the world, and we're having this wonderful moment of having a good, um, laughter together, to be able to look at things from a different perspective, the wisdom that you bring. And I'm so grateful for your Ponte group to be always with you. Um, to be so in the presence of your light and all of this. And it's just amazing. Is there anything else you would like to share with us that you've learned? I know you will continue as we move forward, and having more episodes coming through. But just for now, is there anything else you felt that you want to share?
Just, the ETs are real. I mean, they're real. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know where I'd be, what I'd be doing. But they're the ones that keep me centered. To keep believing on those guys because they're going to make their presence known hopefully soon.
That's interesting. I love that you're saying that the statement ETs are real and they're always been part of your life. I mean your group, haven't they?
Yeah.
Even younger as a child or a teenager, or was it later on as an adult?
Oh no, no, no. This is when we were like 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we used to play with them all the time, but you know, my mom used to say, "Oh, they're your imaginary friends," but goddamn it, they didn't seem real to me.
Uh,
They would play. We would play. We're all the same size, and we would play.
oh yeah, as a child you were the same size, so you were playing, and they're very playful. Your galactic groups are very playful. They're very curious about things, whether it's object, walking, doors, crystals. They're very, very curious, aren't they?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just take it slow, and I know the old stop and smell the roses crap, but that's kind of true. You gotta it's just gotta enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment. Absolutely. Be present. Maybe like being less distracted by everything else, and or be persuaded by so many perspective and theories and push agendas. Be in the moment. Enjoy. This is very foundational wisdom that we need to return to.
Well, I
Wouldn't you
mean,
say?
a lot of people they won't get it until it happens to them. Then they'll get it. You can't convince everybody. You just when it happens to you, it'll happen, and you can listen to what I'm saying, whatever. I if I was younger, I wouldn't believe myself right now because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Oh man, you know. But we'll eventually get old. That's a
The-
certainty, and hopefully the wisdom will come with it.
I think that wisdom can really be acquired and earned at any stage of life, especially if you pay attention and you are present. That's a good reminder too. Again, a lot of statement is all like, look, the star people, the ETs are real. This is part of your reality, and they've been with you every step of the way, even in time of great challenges. Even at the hospital, they were with you.
Well, I mean, like I said, they're always here. I mean, I got cameras in the house. And I got tired of recording them because they're just, how many times can you see them floating around? It's like, okay, well, there's one, here's another one, here's another one. It's like, okay, well, you show them to people and they just say, well, I don't know what the hell, that could have been a shadow. Yeah, it could be a shadow of them. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say shadow of what? So there needs to be something, a present to create a shadow to begin with. So,
It's their
and
light that you're seeing, the reflective light that becomes a shadow. But
yes,
if people are not ready for that, they're not ready.
it depends. I think that a lot of our audience, wouldn't you say, guys, you're ready for the ladies and gentlemen? I should say, yes. I think many of us are ready. And obviously, you're talking, preaching to the choir here with me. But the thing is that when you record, the presence of Ponti around you, whether it's light energies, all of it, do you see like a form, like a humanoid form, or is it more of an orb, or it's just a streak of light? How did?
Sometimes it's a wisp. Sometimes it's a elongated. It's not a form like we have. It's a different. Um,
Okay,
Whatever energy that they're reflecting back is what the camera can catch. Not all cameras can catch that stuff because of the shutter speed of every camera is a little different. So some cameras pick up everything, some cameras don't pick up anything. We just assume that a camera is a camera is a camera, but that's not it. You have to get a certain camera for certain things. You know,
that's a good perspective. So, in your experience being with a Ponti, because you see them with your eyes, with your physical eyes,
yeah.
yeah. Um, have you over the years you use different type of equipment to, whether you in the middle of the night recording them or during the daytime, have you used different type of equipments over the years?
Yeah, the first cameras that we were able to record them was called the Guardzilla cameras. They were out a
Hmm,
number of years ago, little triangle things you get at Best Buy. And they were able to capture a lot of my recordings were from that. And of course, they went out of business and you couldn't get that camera anymore. So I'm trying these Nest cameras out, and they seem to be working pretty good too because they capture a lot of that. So they're just a round camera with a little base, and I have a website that you log into and you can watch it. But they're around. I mean, that's why when you see the whites of your eyes type thing, the white of your eye can actually see that. Your pupil doesn't because when you go to focus in on it, it's gone. But your whites of your eyes can actually pick up the image, the corner image or something, in the corner or something. That's what you first see
I see.
because we see in even though that this is a quote 3D world, we see in two dimensional. We don't see in three dimensional.
Oh, okay.
So you have two eyes, so you can focus on an object. If you had three-dimensional sight, you would see behind the keyboard. You could see behind certain objects, like a fly does, or that type of thing. But we only see in 2D.
That's interesting. I'm sure that your vision must have really shifted and evolved over the years, interacting directly with your Ponti family.
Probably so.
Yes, I can see that. Well, again, today celebrating your return, Jeff, it is phenomenal and walking with you to the journey of a certain form of, if we're going to call it near death experience or out of body extra sensory experience, but to receive such level of very clear messages and then coming back home and you're returning to your life in this reality where your ET family coexists with you on a day-to-day life. For you, it's like normal business as usual, is it
Yeah,
not?
is normal. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a question for you from Simon, actually. Simon says, Jeff, do you think if you had different cameras capable of picking up different wavelength of light, like infrared, that this would record more of these wonderful beings, meaning your Ponti beings being around you? Do you think that would make a difference?
Well, infrared picks up heat. Okay, and I they when they make these cameras, they don't tell you the technical aspects of the camera, but it's a crapshoot because what what they're made for is just a quick visual of something. But what we are looking for is a more of an interdimensional ish type of frequency, visual frequency. And you don't know which cameras are built for that. They probably build them, but don't even know that they were working. Just like these Nest cameras, they work. We're able to capture orbs all around the house, but that's not what they're designed for. Just certain cameras can pick that up, certain cameras are not. So it's just, good luck finding one that works for you.
Right. Now, curiosity here, since we're on the topic of you living side by side with your galactic star family, and you can see them physically, hear them walking and talking with you. There's some people in the audience, beautiful people, says, I saw a small girl peeking out behind a wall. There was nobody there physically, but I saw that. What would you say that's different in terms of that kind of experience
I
versus what
would
you're experiencing?
I would think that that person saw that would be female energy in a form of something that she would recognize. I think that was there. And then, like I said, when you focus in on it, it's not there because you're not seeing that wavelength. Okay, like I said, we're focused on a two-dimensional object. Okay, but when your whites of your eyes can see a totally different dimension. Okay, coupled with your surrounding of your area, you can see without your eyes. Okay, you can see and know where things are, and everybody has that ability. They just don't tune into it.
Mm.
So when a person sees that, that person looking around the corner, they feel that that person or something is there, and then they start focusing on, okay, is it gone? But it was there. You know, I mean, case in point is Bruce Lee. You don't remember Bruce Lee?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he would, be surrounded by people, and he would just like focus in on the whole area, and he knew where everybody was at. Didn't have to look at them because he
Oh.
knew where they were at. He could get himself into that space where he didn't have to see them. He just picked up on where their energy was at.
Oh, I understand that. And I know that some people, like Megan, have experience with a pixie and a fairy, even in their hands and the connections. I remember when I used to live in Montreal, um, the beautiful duplex apartment I was renting, there was this long, long road that I used to walk on, and there was a lot of trees along the side. And I love that road because of the trees. It made me feel like I was walking, in a fairy portal energy. And one day there was this unique tree. I don't know if it's still there. I really hope so. And that tree had three trunks intertwined on each other, and then of course elevate like this. But the base of the trunk was a combination of the merging of three trees together. Okay. It was a very unique one, very unique tree right on someone's property. And one day, as I'm coming back, I'm walking from the market. on a Sunday afternoon, peaceful. I was just doing some grocery, and I was walking a lot at the time back to my home. I literally saw three beautiful beings, like child size, like three little girls, dressed in a beautiful flowing white gown, holding hands around that tree and turning in circle and feel like they were singing. And I was walking by myself. There was no one. The street was very quiet that day on a Sunday. And I was looking at them with my eyes open when I saw these three little girls holding, like three sisters, so to speak, holding hands, dressed in this beautiful white flowing gown, circling around that trio of tree, the tree. And what I realized that I was looking at them with amazement and joy, and I felt blessed to see them. I felt blessed to be part of that journey, to be part of their dance at a distance, but I was still, and then I can see them going, oh, somebody, this person over there is aware and can see us. And I saw them one after another entering into the very core of that triple trunk of that tree. They came back inside. And I never saw them again, or at least I made sure I did not see them again. But it was very, yeah, it was very,
Those
very
are called
powerful.
elementals, and those are absolutely real.
Oh, absolutely. And here's the fun part of it is as I was catching up to the tree, walking on the sidewalk, I stopped, I blessed them, and I said, thank you for this beautiful gift, this vision. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your dance, even though I seemed like you know, didn't want to interrupt your dance, but I blessed you. I am very happy to see you today. And I continued on. If somebody would be looking at me, I would just stop suddenly in front of the tree, and I was going like this, and I was going in prayer, and I was exchanging telepathically. And then I went about my walk and went back home. But I will always remember that. So when you talk about the different cameras or different to your eyes or peripheral, your reality living with your Ponti beautiful star beings with you, it reminded me of those elementals who took on the form of three little sisters, and they were just dancing around that tree. It was their, I felt to me, felt like it was their home. It's like a gateway that they were using.
It's like a
Isn't
leprechaun
it?
and a fairy. Those are all real.
No.
Now I know that there's a question back in here about.
Aha.
I wanted to
There
address.
was a question from Matt. Can I read that to you, Jeff?
Yeah.
Matt was saying, what about Dysonian
Oh yeah,
glasses?
that's it. Yeah, those that chemical has been outlawed. It was popular back in mid to early '60s. It's a coating that they would put on goggles, like a red coating, and you could see in another dimension as you look through the glasses. It pretty much has that same um, that movie called They Live. Um, it's based on that type of glasses that they had back in Vietnam. But I tried looking for them years ago and I couldn't find anything. And I come to find out that that coating, um, you can't get any material to make it. And I'm pretty skilled when it comes to chemicals. I spent 30 years etching tools and stuff. So I'm pretty familiar with acid-based stuff, and I couldn't get it. But they had them back in Vietnam, and when the gunners wore these glasses, they could see other things around that they tried shooting at,
Mm,
and it looked like that they're shooting at nothing, but they were shooting at something.
interesting.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
I
But
was unaware. Matt is saying that apparently he purchased a pair off of eBay.
um, I know they're out there, but nobody, I'm sure that you probably can get caught selling those. if you can find them, but I would be very careful with that.
Okay.
You don't want nobody to have that.
Well, very grateful, Jeff, that you responded to that question. And thank you, Matt, for asking. And yet, talking to gnomes, the dragon nations, the elementals are really real. And it's becoming part of a more accepted day to day reality. Just like for you, Jeff, having this experience when a member of your galactic family says, go back, you have to go back to your life, live each moment, we're with you at each moment. And so you have a very crowded home, even though physically it's you and Harley, but you have a lot of
Oh my God.
energy.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't believe in that stuff, spend a weekend at my place and you'll be a believer.
Oh, I know. Let's
Oh,
do
you
a
know,
new,
these people
but
that come over here, they're like, "Did you just see that?" I said, "Yeah, don't worry about it. It happens all the time." Then they go and I don't see them again.
oh, yes. Have you ever thought to create a new tour, like, and you can have people coming to your home and experiencing the Ponte with you? I mean, that would be like
No,
incredible.
no,
I'm
no way.
Oh, I like to tease you too. Already. So to respond to Hélène in regards to what street in Montreal, that was, oh my God, that was at least 25 years ago, if that experience with the elementals in that tree. The name of the street, it was a long one. I unable to recall. All I know, it was in the city of Saint Léonard, the city of Saint Léonard, and it's just it was incredible. And if for some reason, God forbid, the tree is no longer there, I know that elemental have simply shifted because they can go to other place and they can reshift their portal. Sandy go like, come on, Jeff, I like to come and experience the Ponte.
I got the videos to prove it. I mean, I took so many. It's just like I don't even bother taking them anymore.
I got an idea. Would you think we can play, maybe not today, but another episode? Can we play some of these videos so we can see? That would be
Um,
amazing.
yeah,
Hmm?
yeah. I mean, I got a library of all the orbs that I mean, we had so many orbs in our house. It was like watching snowfall. I know it wasn't dust. It wasn't bugs. It was just you could see them going slow and going like this. Bugs don't do that. And we didn't live in a dusty ass house. It was a pretty good house. So and they would just flood the room.
That's incredible. Well, I know that I, yes, please. Um, I personally experienced also a Europonti group. They came to me a few times and I would hear them opening a door. I would hear footstep on the
Mhm.
carpet, and the gnomes do that too. They used to come to my house a lot and I can hear their footstep on the carpet. And I've seen one gnome one time in my kitchen. He was just hiding behind one of the kitchen chair, all very timid, looking at me like this, going, okay, I'm showing myself to you now. And I went, I see you and I acknowledge you with love. Thank you for being here. And he went like, and it disappeared again. But all this energy is very much of, it's all over the world. I know you all have your experience. I've seen fairy portal in South Africa. I've seen gnomes and fairies in England. I mean, it's all over. I mean, for you, Jeff, it's, living in this galactic reality. It's part of your day to day life. I'll always remember the time when you said that you found, a teeth mark
Oh, my
in
pickle
one,
jar. Yeah,
the
yeah.
pickle jar. Remember
Put it
that?
back. Yeah, you put it back. I mean, if you're going to eat a pickle, don't put it back. You know, I mean, who does that? You know,
Well, The
It's just me living there, and I open it up, and there's a half-eaten damn pickle. Yeah, I kept that for years. So yeah, the reason
exactly.
why that you got these gnomes that kind of like hide, the reason why they hide, because they know of the galactic laws that they have to abide by. Like not be seen. You can't interrupt our daily lives because it will shape the way that a way that if it goes back the other way, then they're responsible for it, and then they have to change it, and they don't know how to change it back. So they
Hmm.
try to avoid any contact they can because they don't want to be caught with their hand in the cookie jar.
Mm. I see. And that makes sense. And given who I am, I know that I think that, they know I can see them and hear them. And I think that that day was a beautiful point of contact. It was very peaceful. And I feel like it was done with, a lot of respect on both sides. And I've always been very grateful for that. Um, it's about discerning. It's about understanding who you are as well. And I like the universal. Of course, we have to, and the galactic beings we're very aware of the natural laws and the protocols. And that means the elemental as well. So
Hmm.
that's a good reminder. Yes, good reminder. Well, my friend, my dear friend Jeff, it's okay with you. I'd like to invite everyone to step forward in a beautiful sacred circle of light. And I'd like to gently guide or provide a guided meditation for to bring in universal peace and planetary harmony, and just to bring that energy back to ourselves, especially in the Middle East right now, to bring resolution, elevation, protecting life, and reverence for all life. I really would like to do that right now, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Rock and roll. I missed that. Yes, we are rock and rolling. Absolutely. All right. So, everyone tuning in, everyone who will be tuning in, remember this is timeless. The podcast will be there all the time. You can go back to it, you can listen to it. And we're going to continue a little bit of conversation afterwards. But just right now, I like to, move into that time of our space of our time together with this global universal peace meditation. And this is more than just bringing world peace. This is about bringing back a sacred universal virtue. Universal peace, it's a divine imprint. It's helping all of us remembering that we are divine being of light, and to reclaim our purity, to reclaim our energy and who we are for each other. And all of you tuning in, whether you are in the US, Canada, South Africa, whether you are in Pakistan, whether you are in Turkey, England, Europe, wherever you are, New Zealand, Australia, let's come together as a family of light, and to be able to join it together, our light and our hearts in unity consciousness. And that includes you, my friend Jeff. Yeah, just holding space with your panty. All right, everybody. So thank you for closing your eyes just for a moment, allowing your energy to tune in back to you with universal presence, taking several deep breaths. And with each breath that you take, thank you for clearing and cleansing your mind, releasing yourself of questions, distractions. It is a time of higher soul calling, where we come together as emissaries of light. So imagine today that we're forming a circle of light around the earth. And right in this, the very heart, the very center of our circle is the energy of the earth and her consciousness, known as the Gaia. This is how her consciousness is known here. And as we're forming a beautiful planetary circle of light. We're holding Gaia together. We're transcending any barriers of time and space, physical barriers. We're transcending beyond the 3D logic mind, filtering systems, patterns, releasing control of the mind, helping yourself to clear your inner field and even your body to receive a gentle flow of cosmic refined energies, helping your body to also evolve and return to vibrancy. And I imagine or feel or simply experience your heart center opening and allowing the projection of your lighter body consciousness, your pure essence, within the sacred circle of light still around Gaia, in the presence of masters of light, the elementals, the galactic fairies, and the gnomes, the presence of many enlightened star nations or star families, and that includes the Arcturians, the Ponti, the many Syrians, including the dolphin and the whales, the mer people, the beloved Lyrians, the star people from the star of Vega, the positive energy of Orion to the Mintakas, beautiful Mintakan energies, the presence of evolved and enlightened from the higher council of the Pleiadians, our dear friends, the Andromedans, the Venusians in our higher fifth dimensional presence, and many, many more known and unknown by names, including universal guardians and celestial presence. Today and every day moving forward in this new era, it is a reminder that we stand united. Every life form is interconnected, intertwined with everything. And as we're allowing our circle of light to expand within yourself and with each other, we bring that energy to reharmonize the entire grid system on the planet nervous system and the ley lines, to uplift the energy, allowing every life form to evolve, to expand and blossom. We are releasing ourselves from the slavery of the 3D mind, old wounds, manipulations through communications, projections, old systems. We clear, cleanse, and release the energy of enslavement altogether from the planet on a multi-frequency and multi-dimensional level. Bringing deep healing in the very core of the earth is to expand that healing in the core and the heart of every sentient life form. Just to breathe and to feel that today I am a clear conduit for universal peace. And to remember that your inner universal peace is one of your greatest gifts. Please be mindful how easily you may give it up or give it away. Just allow yourself to be integrated in your heart and your being, as an anchor for universal peace. And we bless every child, every woman, every man on the planet. We bless every being, that means the animal kingdom, including those labeled as farm animals. They are sentient beings. Those deep in the waters around the world, on the ground, in the air. We bless the sacred land, the soil, the mountains, the mineral kingdom, the planet resources, the four elements, including the fifth one, to the ether, allowing the spirit of this planet to revive along all of us, and to remember that there are other ways to shift, to heal, to transmute, and to co-manifest the next era of conscious living. So let's give deep universal blessings to every nation, every city, every village, every part of the world, every island, every continent, every town, everywhere worldwide, and especially right now. It is time for universal peace to prevail in Middle East and every other places that we may be unaware of. It is time for humanity to remember who they truly are and reclaim their celestial self. Just keep breathing with divine presence to the strength of your heart. And remember, the power of the one can uplift thousands. So right now, all of our intentions are magnified by 1,000-fold, always for the highest and the greatest good of all, in harmony with the natural laws of the universe. We are returning to be cosmic, universal citizens. It is time for the earth and humanity to retake their place among the great galactic community and beyond. And now, let's take a deep breath through your heart and release, allowing everything to integrate with divine timing, divine ease, and divine grace. We said thank you and send a deep gratitude for all of you, for your presence on the planet, for all of our ancestors and our lineage, for the masters of light, universal presence, and the source creation. And so it is. And so it is done. Beautiful. You're now welcome to open your eyes when you are ready. Welcome back. Yes, welcome back. Take a moment to really feel the energy. And for those who've stayed the entire time, we're very grateful for you. And of course, when you go back watching the replay, you can always come back and integrate and add that energy. What we've done today is very necessary. And no matter what, we'll have amazing ripple effects. Very powerful, very positive, very beautiful. Thank you, everyone. How's you doing, my friend?
Good.
There's a lot of changes on the planet. Is there anything that your Ponte group has maybe talk about the changes, the planetary transitions or the movement or anything like that?
No, they don't. That's not what they were here for. I've asked them before. They don't have an opinion on that. Their concern is much higher. They don't
And
care
what do you mean?
about uh, political, all that stuff. They don't give a shit about that. They're more concerned on your spiritual growth as a whole of a person, not a what you physically do here. You know, they're like the caretakers of your soul. They don't care about the earth. You know what wars we fight or anything like that. You know, they don't have
No,
any
it's
or anything like that.
right. And I understand that from a galactic perspective. That's what I meant to say, from a higher perspective. Like for example, the Arcturian, we talk about how the ascending timelines are moving and it changes. It has nothing to do about political and more 3D, but more on a higher level in terms of what we call, when we talk about planetary transition, we're talking about more significant dimensional shifts, evolutions, whether it's more in that sense that I was referring to.
Yeah, they have more of a concern of the singularity that we're coming up to with AI, and guard against, don't trust it, don't shape it in the way that it'll take over us. You know, but that's still, we got 20 years to go for that. But they're concerned about it going south.
Okay. I was just curious. It was just a personal curiosity. I know that I constantly dialogue with my group, and I know you are in the presence of yours. What is very funny is that, my Arcturian group has a very different approach with me. Nobody, they are very uninterested they're very uninterested um, of the physical environment I'm in. It's more in terms of where I am and how things are shifting. And, I oftentimes see this beautiful holographic, tall light silhouette. And this is how they do. They will project their holographic light body and I can see them. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's really all right, beautiful, um, about the energy of how everything is coming through. And there is a lot of changes. 2026 is a very important time. It's a time also to realize and to remind ourselves of what is it that you feel you need to prepare yourself for. So, for example, if there's a group of people around the world who feel a need to prepare for a certain level of reality, where energetically they're going to magnetize that alternative reality. So it's about, for us, about really be present in your light and who you are and how you live every day. And are you really following your
Mm-hmm.
soul guidance and soul synchronicity to fulfill what you've come to do from a perspective that you're part of a really, really grand divine design that is unfolding. And that's nothing to do with, the actual structure here on the planet. It's so much more. So in that sense, I understand, I can feel that. And 2026 is just the beginning of, there's a new era that we're moving into, and everything is shifting so beautifully. And in fact, as we move into April, right now I'm moving to the equinox, the equinoxes coming up this month in March, whether it's going into spring from one hemisphere of fall, the other hemisphere. So there's a gateway opening to the equinoxes. And then leading up to April, April is going to be more of an anchor point, like a grounding point. I can feel naturally there's going to be transition in the timeline. It's really, really potent. And many of us have already felt that, um, the changes coming up. And not a change necessarily in a 3D structure, but the changes in the timeline and how we're moving into that direction. So it's very much the quality of you live together every day, the quality of your mind, your thought forms, your emotions, how you're utilizing your energy, where are you invested the most? Makes sense, right?
Yeah, I think what is going to happen this year is the year of acceptance and understanding before they make themselves known. I mean, they make themselves known to the people that are ready for the most part, but for the average population, they still have to accept them and then educate them.
Mm,
You know, that's what's going on this year.
beautiful. Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate you sharing. Matt is saying that Easter Regulus lines up with the Sphinx. So let's go. Yes, Megan says simplicity. The year of ascension. Let's ride that fire horse. Yes, a lot of energy that's going on. It is so wonderful, Jeff, to be with you and to declare that the Infinite Star Connection podcast is back. Just on a side note, I'm going to be traveling. Well, Peter and I are going to be traveling to Lumbini, Nepal. Lumbini is known as the birthplace of Buddha, where I'm going to be hosting a very deep spiritual retreat. And I know that many of you are part of the Arcturian University, so you already know about this retreat. But for those of you who are unaware, going there, it's coming up. We're just about to leave in a few days, and we have a live stream open. All the details are on my website. But the point I'm making is that it's going to be a very sacred time as we go there, and we're going to be traveling through Hong Kong, Asia, and going into the southeast and going into Nepal and be there for at least 2 weeks. So it's gonna be incredible. Yes, thank you for following you on that and on my adventure. And it's really much a global planetary invitation to join in many ways. And when we come back, we'll have more episode here. And I would love to, when we come back, share more the essence of what will transpire there. And who knows what other messages or experiences or energy may come when we're there in Nepal. But we're going to be there. So just if you see us taking a little short break for the podcast, it's because we're traveling. That's the reason, right, Jeff? But we'll be
Mhm.
back and have a more consistent schedule after that for upcoming episode, and we'll have more guests, maybe some round table. We can do all kind of things. I mean, it's wide open. Hmm?
Sounds good to me. I
Is that
wish I could
incredible?
be on one of those. I'm going to make it to one of them trips.
Oh, definitely. I know that you will. I know that you will. In September of this year, 2026, I believe it's from September 25th to the 28th or the 26th to the 28th. I have to check it out. But we're going to be hosting a very unique, I'm co-hosting a retreat with the Kualama Foundation. We talk about it with the Mamos, the first galactic indigenous retreat. We're going to have many different indigenous tribes, whether it's from the Core Nations, whether it's Yavapai, Yasuve, whether it's the Hopi, the Mamos, of course, from Colombia and others. Um, it's really much maybe something that the energy of that particular retreat that you might be interested in coming to that one in Sedona. And just so you know, everyone, we'll have the registration page up soon and running after we come back from Nepal. It's a really big trip, and to bring the energy. So maybe I'm just planting a seed with you, my friend. Maybe that one could be a good one for you to come. And it's just in September, so you have time to prepare.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see where I'm at. We should be okay.
I think so too. I see you and Hardy coming together, and maybe renting an Airbnb or some place cozy and be part of this incredible experience. And know your Ponti galactic friend, your family will be like all over with us with the Arcturian and the indigenous tribe with, of course, Uquela, an elder of the Yavapai nation, and it's just with the fire ceremony and all the wisdom I'm going to share. It's going to be phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and we're definitely going to really love you to have you there. Yeah. So Kremina says, I'm going to translate the invitation and the information for 2026 in Bulgarian for our small online group. Of course, it is more than okay. I'm honored. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. Thank you. Love, much of love to you as well, Diane from South Africa. Peter and I still talk about our time in South Africa. We just loved it. And we'll have to come back one day for sure. Definitely. So definitely thank you for asking. What a beautiful heartfelt episode today. This is so much deeper than, feeding the mind of information and all of this. It's the celebration of your return. It's a celebration, Jeff, of your life path to continue to expand. You and Artie and the Pontes and everybody else. And I really hope you can make it to Sedona this year in September. It will
Oh,
be such
I've,
a
I've, I've been to Sedona quite a few times, and
yeah, of course. It's not about that. It's about having you with us.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Remind me of a line of the movie The Martian. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna get there.
One
Alrighty.
at a time.
Okay. Do you feel it's complete for today? You want to add something else?
I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I'm pretty much, hope it wasn't too boring for everybody. I know it doesn't resonate with everybody, and whatever.
Uh,
I can only tell you what my experience was, and those ETs there are here. They're going to be here, and the more you accept them and understand them, the more they'll be around, because they don't fear you, and they know that they're not going to quote get into galactic trouble by being around you. You know, I don't give a shit. I don't care. But it'll still freak people out. If they are not ready for them. So the only way to get ready for them is to accept and understand them. And there's a lot of material out there to read, so you can understand them. And if they wanted to get rid of you, they would have done so long time ago. It just they're not here to hurt you. They're just different. They're just different energies that you have to understand. We'll get there. I mean, the people are understanding more and more. So the more we talk about it, and the better. The best way to understand them is experiences, life experiences.
It's incredible what you just said. I couldn't think of a better way to wrap up our time together just for today. And I'm going to invite you to read a chat room. Jeff and Sedona would be awesome. Thank you so much, love. Simon says, so very pleased to see you back with us, Jeff. Wasn't boring at all. Matt said, Gaia loves Jeff. She's not letting you go. Not yet. Mm-mm. And I agree with that. Carolina said, sending my love to both of you. Thank you for sharing. Safe travel. Thank you, Simon. Big thank you and so much love to both of you. So happy to see you. We're celebrating you. It goes on and on. Sandy said, we celebrate you, Jeff, and your return. Ellie says, loved it. So, the voices of the people have spoken. There you go. You have it right there.
I got to share a pint with Simon when I get over there. in that part of the world.
Glastonbury, England. He's our ambassador there.
Mhm.
So,
Good
cheers.
deep conversations with that guy.
Uh, Simon is very spiritual, very intelligent, very knowledgeable. So,
Mhm.
definitely. I had a chance to meet Simon and Maritza, his wife, in person a few years ago. So, very, very grateful for that.
Good. Well,
Well, yes, my friend, go ahead.
no, go on, go on. I was going to get on back to doing some reading and study more on Umo and all that jazz.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely. Julie says, yes, welcome back, Jeff. See, so
Mhm.
many messages for you today. We had a lot of people watching. Thank you so much for being here. A grand return, a guest celebration. We are here for you. We're celebrating your return with Gaia, with all of us. Beautiful, deep conversation. Simon says, thank you, Jeff. I hope you can get to Glastonbury one day. So there you go. Invitation is open.
Get my passport ready.
There you go. Everything is possible. And I think it's part of what you may be realizing again or remembering again that now anything is possible again.
Well, I still got one more home run in me, I think. So we'll keep playing the game.
I drink to that. I want to thank everyone for your love, your support, your dedication. The celebration of returning, Jeff, your wisdom, what you share with us, whether it's a galactic reality, whether it's your out of body experience, whether it's returning into more of a human, also compassion, human way of living, enjoying each moment. The deep meditation we did together, you can go back and listen again. And I think that today's episode was filled with a lot of layers of wisdom and feeling energies and good reminders. I think that we all needed to receive again today. And thank you so much for feeling the love, to bring your love. Infinite blessings to all of you. Jeff, it's wonderful to be back. We'll announce more episodes coming up just after I come back from Nepal. In the meantime, stay in your light and to be continued. There will be more. Much love, everyone.